these frauds. As far as words are involved, there's curtains for y'all. Bring you to hell on earth with these bars. Against the odds, I trap like a fence on guard. Young God. There's some irony in fence because I bring it to your front yard. It's towers, nigga.
Can I do it now?
Yo, you mentioned...
Can I do it now?
Go ahead.
Can I do it now?
Yeah, what are you doing? Go ahead.
Nigga, maniacs, nigga. Big bro, nigga. Fuck is y'all niggas talking about on gang, nigga?
Oh, God, nigga.
Fuck is y'all niggas?
He's such every time.
Alright, yo, so in the beginning of that verse you just spit, you mentioned you look in the mirror and you see your father. And you said that's a problem.
Yeah, facts.
Every interview I ask about fatherhood, you know, because that's important to me. So I heard you also say that you are a father.
Yeah, facts.
So
I got 2 kids.
you got 2 kids. So at first I want you to speak about your experience or your story with your father and then your experience as a father and what it means to you.
My father is an incredible human being. I love my father to death. He's the man in so many facets, man. Like, not as a dad, as a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a nigga, like, so many different wisdoms he's embarked on me non-verbally. You know what I'm saying? Just like
his actions.
From his actions. A thorough nigga. My dad was the dad, even though he wasn't like in my life a lot because he was like always away. He was always working. He's you know what I mean? I didn't see my dad a lot when I was a kid. But he was like the patriarch of our family. He would always scoop up fucking 15 of my cousins and bring us to fucking Six Flags, some fly shit, you know what I'm saying? Like randomly. Randomly. You know, he was the nigga that would take niggas sledding and fucking arrange a family baseball game. You know what I mean? My pops was like that man. You know what I'm saying? So and he's also like a man's man, you know what I'm saying? I know like cold-blooded killers that are like, yeah, man, my big bro, your dad. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So like, even though I don't know all the facets of my dad's life, I know the nigga was the man. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's so many great things I could tell you about my dad. But one thing that I saw him do is he chose his family over his own potential. He was such a thorough nigga, and he stood with my mom, did right by my mom, and raised his kids. And to this day, I always wonder why. It like blows my mind that anyone could have that much love in their heart to like work 80 hours, not even see his kids, and just make sure they was good. You know what I'm saying? Put my mother through school, like so many fucking super
like
thorough
just sacrifice
things.
His life.
Yeah, and he's such a fucking gangster. He didn't know how to really dad. He knew how to like love dad, but he didn't know how to teach dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's just so gangster, he expects you to be gangster. You know what I mean? Like,
be tough.
Yeah, you know
Not
what I
gang,
mean? Like,
that's
yeah,
gangster.
yeah. My pops was like the nigga that's like, yo, what the fuck you mean you feel things, nigga? Like, you good, little nigga? Like, you gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how.
What do you
dad-
mean you feel?
Yeah, like my pops is like that type
feel?
of dude. Like, you know what I
There's
mean?
one
Like,
of those.
let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story about my dad. Right. So one time I'm sitting there. I'm in fucking like Puerto Ricans say calzoncillos. I'm in tighty whities. I'm like 14 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm in fucking. I'm probably in boxer briefs or something. You know, I'm joking, but you know what I mean. I'm whatever. I'm in underwear in my dad's house, and my dad comes to the house and he goes, get dressed. And I'm like, oh, where we going? He's like, don't worry about it, just get dressed. I'm like, all right, cool. So I get dressed and he's like, yeah, like wear some shorts. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. All right, cool. So I get dressed and we go to his best friend Armando's house. Rest in peace, Armando. His best friend at the time, Armando. And we went to his house, right? And it was a picnic going on. A whole big ass picnic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Grill on, mad, crazy salsa music on. I mean, like real Hispanic, Puerto Rican ass picnic going on, right? So we get to the backyard or whatever. And I'm expecting like he's just bringing me to this picnic at his best friend's house. But he didn't say that. And my pops is, he does everything for a reason. You know what I mean? There's one thing I can tell you about that nigga is that everything he do is calculated. He's never slipping.
Never.
So I was caught off guard that he didn't just tell me we was going to a picnic. You know, I remember feeling that from him. I remember that, like, that was confusing. We go to the back of the yard, and my dad goes, there's like a kid there that's probably like 17, 18. I'm like 14. Like 17, 18, a little taller cat, you know, a little fly boy nigga, whatever. He's sitting down, and my dad goes, all right. He looked at him and said, all right, okay. All right, get up. Yeah, that's my son right there. Hey, Richie, fuck him up. And I'm like, okay, bet. So I go in, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to tell me twice, what up, you know what I mean?
Let's go.
So I square up with the nigga, like, and the nigga's like, oh, he mad small, da-da-da-da. And, I guess he thought, at that point, I'm guessing he thought the conversation was still between him and my dad. Mm-hmm. Nah, my dad just told me to fuck you up. You talking to me now.
Wait, so, the guy was...
The kid 17, 18 years old.
And he was going back and forth with your dad.
It don't make sense. It don't make sense in a second. Because it didn't make sense to me neither. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay. So I square up. So he's like, yo, man, he's mad small. Da, 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 da. Yeah. And I'm like, nigga, fuck all that shit. Nigga, what up, pussy? You know what I mean? I'm wilding at this. I'm like, what up, pussy? What up, nigga? Square up. Now I'll beat the shit out of you. What up, boy? Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? And nigga's like, oh, looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. You know what I mean? So boom, whatever. So the nigga take his hoodie on. He had a gray hoodie on. He take his hoodie off and he square up with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we about to bop out. I'm like, what up, bitch? Nigga, he keep backing up. I'm like, nigga, stop being a bitch. Nigga, what up? Nigga, let's bang. Da, da, da. So I'm running up on him, and he's like, oh, he's all type of scary, like. Mm-hmm. So now I start embarrassing him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you fucking punk, nigga. You don't want to fight. I stand right here, bro. Put my arms down. Nigga, come over here and punch me, nigga. Bitch ass nigga. I'm going crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, the nigga's like, oh, no. Now the nigga looks at his dad, who was there. I didn't know this, but he looks at his dad, and he's like, yo, dad. He start copping pleas to his pops. Now his pops is like, nah. No, you want to be disrespectful, right? You won't be disrespectful. He like an old school Puerto Rican nigga that's like, his pops wasn't like a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? He's like just an old school Puerto Rican nigga. So, I can imagine his pops was probably like, finally, a fucking taste of this little nigga medicine. Because his son is wild and he not a wild nigga.
And his son is fucking him up.
So he's like, scared to death or whatever. So I'm literally chasing this nigga down at this point, trying to get him to throw hands. And he will not allow me to get close enough to him to actually fight. You know what I'm saying? So I get frustrated, and naturally I get frustrated, and I'm like, yo, dad, man, what the fuck, man? This nigga's a bitch-ass nigga. I don't know why the fuck you brought me over here, man. Can I get a fucking plate at least? And everybody laugh, and it's like humiliating, you know what I'm saying? And the kid just dips off the party like mad pissed and walks off, you know what I'm saying? And then, and so my dad started popping crazy shit, like, yeah, man, you know what's funny? This motherfucker 18 years old. I don't remember he's 18, 17. He's like, 18 years old. I got a son that's 4 years older than him. That's his same age. I could have got my older son. I didn't even need to bring my older son. My young son beat the shit out of him. Da-da-da. Wilding the fuck out. So, like, that's how my pops is. You know what I mean? It's like, he's just like, he expects a certain amount from you. You know what I'm saying? So, I say that to say this. I guess one of the things my father taught me accidentally is to... try your best not to live vicariously through your kids. Like, I don't give a fuck if my kids are tough. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck if my kids are... Like, I say this all the time, and I know it's an exaggeration. It's a wild way to say it, but my daughter's 4 years old. It's my oldest. Mm-hmm. I love her to death. She's a fucking beautiful little girl. I don't say it because I'm her dad. I say it because I see her face. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you if she was ugly, nigga. I don't give a fuck. So... She's a fucking gorgeous little girl. Mm-hmm. And it's a weird love because it's like, I want to see you do so many things. And I want to see you be so many ways. Yeah. But I know at the same time that if you were a fucking failure, if you were a fucking crackhead, if you were a complete fucking whore, I would still love you.
Yeah.
I would still love the shit out of you. I would still want to help you. I would still want the best for you, no matter what. It doesn't matter what you become. It doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? And then that starts making you think like, treat everyone kind of that way. You know what I'm saying? Like we was going back to the...
If you could find you could find your daughter and everybody out here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You can have that type of, you know what I mean? If you got that type of respect. And, have your guard up. Don't let nobody take you for no sucker, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But at the end of the day, just kind of have that same approach to everybody you deal with. And, somebody come all type of aggressive, like, you don't know what they dealing with in their life. You don't know what's going on with them. Like, at this point in my life, man, I'm 31 years young. At this point in my life, like, if you don't physically touch me, or if you're not, like, close enough to me where it can get physical, I don't really care that much, bro. There's not really much you could say to me that's going to bother me. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I've been through so much, and I've seen so much, and I've also seen niggas lose their lives over the smallest shit.
Yeah.
Over the fucking dumbest shit. Shit that shouldn't matter. Bitches that shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Should be right here still.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas out